Feeling very rock and roll today. I don't know why. Yes, occasionally I just make faces at myself. Hi, and welcome back to Katie's Corner in Space for Droughtlander. Although this isn't really my first Droughtlander video for the second part of season 7. It's going to be so fun trying to say that over and over again for the next few weeks or several months or year and a half. That's what I'm here to talk about. And I've been putting off making this video mostly because I don't like to bring bad news. I like to share information, and that's all well and good, but without really new information and kind of all I have to share is not fantastic information. Yeah, I've been putting this off. So as you know, we have a strike happening right now with the Writers Guild and the Actors Guild. And those acronyms are going to be down here as I talk when I say Writers Guild. And you see these letters? And the reason this is a reload is because I got those letters wrong on my first upload. I put WAG instead of WGA. Luckily, a nice viewer who contacted me through Instagram let me know of the mistake, and so I am reloading this with the correct acronym because I thought this was kind of an important video, so want to get the information correct. Stay tuned for a clarification later on in the video about the writers and why they are not included in a program that allows the actors to continue working while in Scotland. And when I say Actors Guild, okay, we're also going to be talking about the producers, the network producers. That's these guys. Those are the big wigs on the other side of the table doing all the negotiating. And part of this is also going to include the directors. Now, as you know, part 1 of season 7 was completed and aired as usual with no problems. It was good. I gave it a thumbs up. Most of you gave it a thumbs up. Worked out wonderfully. The problem is, in May, the writers went on strike. That means that whatever production still needed to be done by the writers could not get done for the second part of season 7. Which, since the strike is still happening, means that certain people who would normally be involved in this last part of editing cannot be. Showrunner Matt B. Roberts, who is part of the Writers Guild, can't help complete the last bit of editing for part 2 of season 7. How that will affect the completion, I couldn't tell you. However, that means that Starz saw enough of a problem with his lack of involvement to push back the airing of the second part of season 7 from the beginning of 2024 to the end of 2024, which translates for me a much longer Droughtlander period and many, many more videos. So that's part of our problem. The good news is that recently negotiations have been opened up again, and the bigwigs on the other side of the table, these guys, they have submitted their idea of what would be a fair contract to the writers. And those negotiations have been going on back and forth right now between those two main groups, the writers and those bigwigs, the network producers. And we are hoping that with negotiations ongoing and there being open discussion between everybody, I understand it's virtual meetings right now, but today, the day that I'm recording this, which is Friday the 18th, I didn't want to get that wrong, they're still going on as of this date. There have been no contracts, but nobody stepped away from the negotiating table without having some more discussion. So that's a good thing as far as our future for Outlander. And that could mean that whatever might be making it difficult for editing to finish on the second part could get underway momentarily. And with any luck, that one delay until the end of 2024 is the only one we'll hear about for that second half. That also means that the writing for season 8, which has come to a complete halt, will also be able to pick up as well. Now, what about the actors, you might be asking? The writers could have a contract, but if the actors haven't been brought on, what does that mean for Outlander and the filming of season 8? As season 7 was completely filmed, and it really is just that last editing process that needs to be finished. Season 8, it hasn't even been completed on paper yet, much less on film. So how is this going to affect the future of Outlander for that 8th season? Well, it's pretty simple, actually. Actually, it's not really simple, but from what I've gleaned, it's kind of simple. The actors and actresses and the people who are stunt doubles, whatnot, who work on Outlander, but are also members of the Actors Guild, they are actually covered. There's a negotiation that happens with UK Productions, and I believe it's Equity UK. Is the term, the group that is that makes sure that, trying to figure out the best way to say this, and I'm not really sure if I'm going to get it right, so hold on to your hats. The members of the Actors Guild who are working on UK productions can do so without any backlash, because they are already there's already been something contractually negotiated for the ability to do so. It's just because something is going on in the United States and their actors union does not mean it should necessarily always affect UK productions. This was, I understand, something that is negotiated regularly for actors. I'm not sure why it wouldn't be for writers. And a quick clarification on this point given to us again by Bevan Boulder. Always helpful and always great to hear from you. She points out that the writers are based in LA, so whatever is happening in the United States and with the Writers Guild obviously would affect them, because LA, it's in the United States. My brain was not putting these things together. All right, back to it. But for the actors, it is, which means that if the writers do get a contract, from what I understand, our actors will be able to work on a UK production, which Outlander is. So really, once that writing contract is agreed upon, then the writing can continue for our story to continue, and the actors will know what to say. And then once that is completed and everything is approved and production goes on to filming, the actors, even though they are a member of SAG, even if no contract has been agreed upon here, they are able to work on the Outlander project in the UK, because again, it is filmed in Scotland. It's one of those funny things where you're like, oh, I wish they'd come to the United States to film, but guess what? It's might work out better for us that they haven't. If the writers are able to come to an agreement with the big wigs, then we're going to be able to get production of Outlander sooner. Now that's what I've learned so far about Outlander and how the strikes will affect season 7 and season 8. Things shouldn't be delayed too horribly once the writers and the big wigs are able to come to some sort of agreement, hopefully a fair one. From what I understand, the producers were sort of hoping that they could hold out until the writers started just losing their homes and had to give in. It's not working out that way. With the actors having joined in July, there's a lot more pressure. And this may work out well, not just for our writers, but for our actors as well. Now, if you're wondering why I discussed the directors, that's because the directors were able to get a contract. And I think that the bigwigs were hoping to use that as a template for what the writers and actors would be offered. However, because they are such different jobs, and the way in which the dispersal of monetary gain is done, from what I understand, it just simply doesn't work. It doesn't transfer over well enough. And so the negotiations are ongoing. And I think most people understand why the negotiations are ongoing, and we support our actors, we support our writers, we support all of the talent that gives us this incredible entertainment that we just can't help but talk about. Now, of course, sometimes when I make these videos, I occasionally say, support this channel. Instead, go to one of the links below that you're going to see, or one of the links that I show here. And go support our actors and our writers. Right now, they're not getting paid, and they need to eat. They need to pay medical bills. They need to pay mortgages. They need to live. And while they are trying to figure out how to get fairly paid for something that we, quite frankly, take for granted, we maybe should show some support. And so a little bit here and there, anything that you might have normally wanted to give this channel, or maybe someday you wanted to give to this channel, please donate it to them and help support our actors, our writers, our talent, so that they can continue to fight for what's fair. Now, like I said, I wasn't originally going to make this video this week. I was trying to take sort of a week off. It's a little bit burnt out. It's been a busy summer, as some of you know, And even though I haven't been producing as much content, I've just been a busy mom, a busy wife, a busy puppy mom, and it's just been a lot. I needed a week off. I was burning out. I could tell that I was no longer having fun making these videos. It was more like a job I'm not getting paid for. And I say that with all love. This channel does not bring home the bacon. It brings home, you know, enough for a case of pop every week. It's really not a big earner. But I do love making the videos, and I'm hoping that it will grow. In that spirit, while I was taking my week off, I decided to open a Discord server, and you can find that link here coming out soon. I'm still trying to figure out how Discord runs because I am one of these people who really never had an occasion to use it. But I do see that a lot of people like communicating in comments, and some people are friends or have become friends. I just thought it would be a fun place to discuss things for anybody who wanted someplace to chat more regularly. And while I've got you here, for those of you who are still sticking around, I do appreciate it so much. I was contemplating going to Through the Stones, which is a convention in Iowa. It happens on December 1st and 2nd. My problem is I hadn't considered it earlier. And again, this channel, not a big earner. I'm not complaining. Every view counts, and I adore the fact that you guys come back. But it's not a big earner. I'm not able to pay for my trip in the amount of time I would have to save it. So I am going to be trying to come up with some cash and see if in the next month it would be a feasible thing for me to try to plan. I won't give you the dollar amount that I would be aiming for, but right now it does seem fairly unlikely. However, even if I can't go to that one, any money that I do save up, I will put towards my next convention, which would be an Outlander convention, trying to space them out a bit. And with the exceptions of ones that my family wants to go to, the ones I would share with you guys here, I am trying to balance it out, well, one of each. And I've never been to an Outlander convention, so it really would be fun to be able to do. As I said, this is sort of a fly by the seat of my pants video. I wasn't really planning to do anything big, but with the negotiations for the strike ongoing and some clarification as to when we may or may not be seeing future episodes, it just seemed like something worthy of a discussion. So yeah, season 7, not until the end of next year. And season 8, hopefully it wouldn't be too far behind its normal schedule once the writers are able to come to an agreement. I live in hope, though, that that will happen soon. I could be completely off because the other thing I have heard is that negotiations could go on until the end of the year. Ha! Don't you love being a TV fan right now? Thanks so much for joining my little impromptu update video. Next week, regular videos should begin showing up more frequently. I haven't quite worked out my schedule yet. Like I said, I needed a week off and I needed a break. I will see you next week for my regular Droughtlander video. I do count them off from the week we don't have a new episode. So today would be the beginning of my Droughtlander count off. So next week would be our week 1 video for a week of Droughtlander. Until then, please check out some of the reviews for last season or some of the Droughtlander videos for waiting for season 7. And I'll see you there.